Okay, today we see example number 2 regarding the salary income of 15 marks question. Okay, from the following details of income furnished by Mr. Narayan Rao. Mr. Narayan Rao furnished the income for the previous year ending 31st March 2020. This is income of the last year, so you have to calculate the taxable income of the Narayan Rao for the assessment year 2021. Okay, income from salary. They asked to compute the income from salary. First point is net basic salary after deducting income tax 20,000. He received 2,20,000. Okay, so the salary before deduction is to be taken for calculation. Remember this point. Okay, if there are any deductions, all the deductions you have to add in the net amount. Okay, you remember this point. If there are any deductions, you add those deductions to the net salary. Here net salary is 2,20,000. This is after deduction of 20,000. Therefore, you add this amount to the salary income to calculate the basic salary. This is the first point you remember. So whatever deductions they made in the salary income, it may be income tax, it may be life insurance premium, it may be loan amount, or it may be any other type of deductions. All the deductions you have to add to calculate the basic salary. Basic salary is to be taken before deduction of any amount. So basic salary for the first one is 2,20,000 plus 20,000. 2,40,000 is the basic salary. And dearness allowance 60,000 is the amount. This 60,000 is the direct amount. You take directly. It is the taxable. Then 25% includes for retirement benefit. Okay, 25% of 60,000 means I think 15,000. That 15,000 you have to take for calculation in the further points. Okay, whenever we say salary, in those points you have to take 25%, not the full. Okay. And the next point is bonus. Bonus is fully taxable. Education allowance 8,400. Education allowance is partially taxable, partially exempt. You remember this point. 8,400 is the amount given as education allowance, but as per income tax rules, per child per month 100 rupee is allowable, maximum for 2 children. And this 8,400 is for 2 children, no doubt. I agree with that. Then you take the 8,400 in the inner column and deduct the exempted allowance. Exempted allowance is 100 per month per child. 100 per month per child, maximum for 2 children. Okay, so 100 into 1200 per child. And for 2 children, 1200 plus 1200, 2,400 is the maximum allowable. Okay, therefore 2,400 is exempted, remaining is taxable regarding this point. Regarding education allowance. Okay. Then entertainment allowance. You take entertainment allowance as taxable income first. And if it is allowable exemption only when he is a government employee. So nothing is mentioned about employee status. He is a government employee or non-government employee. He furnished. So we consider that he is a non-government employee. So it comes as a taxable allowance. Then his contribution to recognized provident fund is 40,000. His contribution means employee contribution. Employee contribution is not applicable in calculation of salary. It is applicable in calculation of deduction. Okay. Then employer contribution to above fund is 40,400. 40,400 is the contribution made by employer regarding recognized provident fund. As per income tax rules, 12% of salary is exempted. Okay, so you take this amount in the inner column and deduct 12% of salary. Salary means salary plus DA. Salary plus DA means this salary 2,20,000 plus 20,000, 2,40,000 salary. This salary plus DA means this DA. DA means 25% applicable amount. Okay, 15,000, not full DA. Remember this point. That's why I'm telling. And next is interest credited to above fund 12%. Interest credited to RPF. Interest credited to RPF is 9.5% is exempted. I already told. Okay. So you take 12,000 and deduct 9.5%. Okay. You take 12% and deduct 9.5%. It is okay. Or you may calculate directly. You take 12,000 in the inner column, less exempted 9.5%. One type. Second type, you take directly taxable amount. I will take directly taxable amount. Then he is provided with free accommodation, rent-free accommodation owned by the employer. You see this point. House is provided free of rent by the employer, and that house is belonging to employer. And that house is situated in a city, population having 12 lakh. This is the point. Regarding rent-free accommodation, I explained in the class. Okay. Government employee, first, what is the calculation? Then non-government employee. In the non-government employee, house owned by the employer. If house is owned by the employer, 15% of salary for population about 25 lakh. Then 10% of salary for the population in between 10 and 25 lakh. And population is less than 10 lakh, 7.5%. Therefore, house is owned by the employer and population is 12 lakh. 12 lakh means it is in between 10 and 25 lakh. Therefore, rate applicable is 10% of salary. 10% of salary means all the amount received from the employer by the employee in the form of cash. Cash form. In the form of cash, how much you received, that amount you have to take. Okay. That is salary. Remember this point. That is, this salary is taken from cash and DA is taken but is not eligible for retirement benefit. Eligible amount you take. Bonus is taken into consideration. Education allowance you have to take into consideration. Entertainment allowance comes into consideration. And his contribution, employer contribution, is not received by employee. Therefore, the first 4 points: basic salary, DNS allowance, bonus, education allowance, entertainment allowance. These 5 points are called as salary for rent-free accommodation. Remember this point. Okay. Then employer has provided sweeper 300 per month. It is the domestic servant taxable. Then domestic servant salary paid to him is 250. One is sweeper, another is domestic servant. These are taxable because his salary is more than 50,000. He is a specified assessee. Okay. These are the points you have to cover and solve the problem. Okay, now you see the calculation of taxable income. You see this. Computation of income from salary of Mr. Narayan Rao for the assessment year 2020-21. You write the heading like this. Okay. And then you draw the table. You see the table. This is the table. Okay. First point, you take the income from salary. First point is income from salary. That is the basic salary. You go through the question printed exercise. Okay, you should have question paper or exercise along with you while solving the question. Okay, first point is net salary. So I take basic salary after deduction, that is 2,20,000. For this you add deduction, add tax deducted at source 20,000. So total is 2,40,000 is the basic salary. And second point is dearness allowance. Dearness allowance is 60,000. You take total amount 60,000, not the percentage. Total amount is to be taken here. Then next is bonus. Bonus is 20,000. Bonus 20,000. Next point is education allowance. You take education allowance in the inner column, 8,400. In this 8,400, you deduct the exempted amount, less exempted. Exempted is 100 rupees per child per month. 100 rupees per child per month, and this is for 2 children. So maximum is 2 children. 100 into 2 into 12. 2,400 is exempt. One child 1,200, two child 2,400 is exempt. Only 2,400 maximum is the allowable exemption limit. So you deduct this, remaining is 6,000. 6,000 is the education allowance. Next is entertainment allowance. You take entertainment allowance 12,000. Entertainment allowance. There is no item. Then his contribution to RPF is not related with the salary. Employee contribution to RPF is not related with salary. Then you take employer contribution to RPF. Employer contribution to RPF is 40,400. 40,400. Then less exempted. Exempted is 12% of salary. Salary means 12% of salary means the 2,40,000 basic salary, and 15,000 is the part of DA. Part of DA means you see here. How I have taken this? 2,40,000. This 2,40,000 is the basic salary, and 15,000 is DA. DA means eligible DA for retirement benefit. 60,000 is the dearness allowance. Out of this, 25% is eligible. So I taken 25% is 15,000. Salary plus DA you have to take. Okay. And 12% of these total amount is 30,600. 30,600. You deduct this, balance is 9,800. 9,800 is the taxable RPF, contribution to RPF by employer. Remember this, employee amount will not come for calculation. In this way, you take the employer contribution to RPF. Okay. Then you take the next point, interest on RPF. Interest on RPF is 12,000 is the interest into 2.5 divided by 12. 12 is the rate of interest into 2.5 is the taxable rate. Means I taken this as 12 minus 9.5. Okay, otherwise you take 12,000 in the inner column less 9.5%, 9,500, then you take the balance. Okay, you want to see that, you can see here. You take 12,000 here, then less 12,000 is the interest into exemption percentage is 9.5 divided by total rate is 12%. 9,500 you deduct, then whatever balance comes you write in the outer column. This is the one way of calculation. Direct way of calculation is you take the total interest into taxable percentage divided by total percentage. This is the direct answer. Okay, this answer is 2,500. Next is after this house rent-free accommodation, valuation of rent-free accommodation. So house is owned by employer in the 12 lakh population area. So 10% is applicable. 10% into 2,40,000 salary. 15,000 is the DA. It is the part of DA eligible for retirement benefit. Remember this point. This is the part of DA eligible for retirement benefit. Remember this. Total DA, you don't take total DA. Remember this point. And 20,000 is the bonus. 6,000 is the education allowance. 12,000 is the entertainment allowance received by employee in hand, in cash. Therefore, you have to take the total of this. 10% of this is 29,300 is the value. Okay. It is value of rent-free accommodation. Then next is domestic servant is there, 250 into 12, 3,000. Then sweeper is there, 300 at the rate of 12, 3,600. Total is 6,600. Okay. Problem completed. Then you take the total of the outer column. Outer column total is 3,86,200. This is called as gross salary. This is called as gross salary. In the gross salary, you have to deduction under section 16. In the 16, there are three. First is standard deduction under section 16, subsection 1A, 50,000 rupee maximum or actual salary, whichever is less. Second is entertainment allowance for government employee. He is not a government employee, that allowance not available. Exemption not available. And third is tax on employment, that is not given in the problem. Therefore, you give only one deduction. You give only one deduction. So that deduction is the standard deduction. Standard deduction. So the standard deduction is less standard deduction under section 16 subsection 1, 50,000 rupees. You take inner column 50,000, deduct that 50,000 in the outer column, then whatever balance remains, that is the income from salary. This is called as income from salary. In this way, you have to calculate. This is the second example. Okay. In this way, you have to calculate. And in this problem, shown how to calculate valuation of rent-free accommodation. 5 marks questions are there on valuation of rent-free accommodation. You calculate like this. Okay. Then next we will see example number 3. Example number 3, Sri Amar furnishes the following particulars of his income for the previous year 2019-20. Okay. Basic salary is, his basic salary is 2,80,000. Sorry, 2,88,000. 2,88,000 is the basic salary, it is taxable. You take directly. Next is bonus equal to 1 month basic salary. 1 month basic salary means its salary is annual salary. Basic salary is annual salary. You divide by 12, you will get 1 month's salary. That is the bonus. DNS allowance is 57,600. 57,600 is the DNS allowance. This is the third taxable income. Employer and employee contribute to RPF 40,320. Employer and employee both contributes, but the employee contribution is not related with tax. Employee part is not related with tax in salary. Employer part you have to take. Employer part is 40,320. Out of this, you deduct the exempted amount, 12% of salary. Remaining is taxable. Then interest on RPF is 9% of fund. 9% of the RPF interest is exempted from tax because according to income tax rule, up to 9.5% is exempted. 9.5% is exempted. Therefore, it is less than 9.5. It is fully exempted. This is fully exempted. Next, come to the life insurance premium 24,000. Life insurance premium 24,000 on his own life was paid by the employer. Was paid by the employer means it is an income to the employee. If he paid, employee himself paid the insurance premium, then this is not an income. It is an income because it is paid by the employer. It is paid by the employer. Therefore, it is taxable. LIC premium paid by the employer is a taxable annuity, emolument. Then next come to the policy value is 4,80,000. This is not a matter related to income tax and it comes under the deduction 20% of policy value maximum premium. Maximum premium is to be 20% of policy value. That point comes in the deduction. I'll tell you whenever I take deduction chapter. Then he was provided with a small car which the employer paid all the expenses including driver's salary. He was provided with small car. Small car means less than 1.6 cc cubic capacity or 1.6 cubic capacity. Small car. And the car was used for both office as well as private. Means expenses are paid by employer. Therefore, 1,800 per month is the running charges and driver salary 900 per month you have to take. Next point is related with he was provided with rent-free accommodation in Delhi. Rent-free accommodation in Delhi. Okay, Delhi. What is the population of Delhi? Do you know? What is the population of Delhi? If anybody knows that, you tell me. Population of Delhi. Delhi population is more than 25 lakh. More than 25 lakh is the population of Delhi. Therefore, you have to consider it more than 25 lakh. Then employer paid rent of rupees 12,500 per month to that building. Okay. And he was allowed to use furniture worth rupees 40,000. Furniture cost is 40,000. Furniture cost is 40,000. Clear? 40,000 is the furniture cost. So you have to value based on first is non-government employee. Okay, first is non-government employee. Second is building is a rental building, not the not owned by the employer. Therefore, if it is not owned by the employer, then the rule is 15% of salary or actual rental value, actual rent paid, whichever is less. What is the point? Actual rental value or the provision regarding this is according to this point, 15% of salary or rental value, whichever is less, is the perquisite. Then add 10% of cost of furniture. Okay. These are the points you have to cover, and a gross salary calculate. In the gross salary, you deduct the deduction under section 16. Okay, you see here. Computation of income from salary of Sri Amar for assessment year 2020-21. Okay, this is the statement. First, you take the basic salary. Basic salary is 2,88,000. 2,88,000. Then bonus equal to 1 month's basic salary. 1 month salary. 2,88,000 into 1 by 12. That is 24,000. Then third point is DNS allowance. DNS allowance is 57,600. 57,600 you take. Then fourth point is employer contribution to RPF. Employer contribution to RPF. Employer contribution to RPF is 40,320. Out of this, you have to deduct the 12% of salary. Less exempted 12% of salary, 2,88,000. Here DA is not considered because DNS allowance is not eligible for retirement benefit. Specification is not given. Therefore, it is not eligible. Okay. Then 34,560 is the deduction. You deduct it, remaining balance is 5,760 is the taxable contribution to RPF. Then next is interest on RPF is there, that is exempted. Next point is life insurance premium. Life insurance premium paid by employer is 24,000. You take 24,000. Okay. Next is motor car valuation. You take the valuation of motor car. So car is small car. Expense is paid by employer. Therefore 1,800 per month. 1,800 per month into 12 running charges. 21,600. Driver is also there. So driver salary 900 into 12. 10,800. So value of motor car is 32,400. In this way you calculate. Then after the valuation of motor car, then accommodation of rent-free value. So valuation of rent-free accommodation. It is valuation of rent-free accommodation, not concessional rent. Just a minute, I will change it. This is rent free accommodation. Rent-free accommodation, you see here. Valuation of rent-free accommodation. 15% of salary. Salary means all the amount received in cash. 2,88,000 amount received in cash. Bonus 24,000 received in cash. Then dearness allowance is received in cash, but it is not eligible for retirement benefit. This is the point. And employer contribution, LIC premium are not received by employee. These are paid to the separate organizations. Remember this point. Therefore, only salary and bonus are eligible. So you take the total of 2 and make 15%. Its value is 46,800. Then next point is actual rent paid. Rent paid is 12,500 into 12. I think it is 15 lakh. It is, sorry, 1,50,000. 1,50,000 or 46,800. Whichever is less is a value of perquisite. This is the value of perquisite. It is unfurnished. It is unfurnished. Then you add 10% of cost of furniture. Add 10% of cost of furniture. It is 4,000. 40,000 is the cost of furniture. You add 4,000. Then the value of the house is 50,800. 50,800. In this way, you calculate. Okay. Problem completed. You take the total. Total is 4,82,560. 4,82,560. This is called as gross salary. In the gross salary, you have to deduct 3 items under section 16. One is standard deduction, maximum 50,000. Second is entertainment allowance for the government employee. Third is professional tax. But out of these 3 deductions, only one is there, that is standard deduction. Less deduction under section 16A, that is 50,000. Only one item is there, you deduct it. Remaining is 4,32,560 is the income from salary. Remember this. Okay, this is enough for today. Tomorrow we'll see some more examples based on costing. Tomorrow I'll take costing. Tomorrow I'll take at 10 o'clock. Morning 10 I'll take costing. LIFO method, I'll solve 2 problems on LIFO method on Excel sheet. Excel sheet is transparent or not? Is it clear or not? Anyone tell me? Excel sheet is comfort or not? If it is not comfort, I have to prepare the slides. If the Excel sheet is comfortable and visible to you people clearly, I'll go on Excel sheet. Anyone?
Slide is
Excel sheet is visual, clear?
no, sir. Slide.
Slide?
Yes, sir.
Now what about Excel sheet? Not a visual? Not clear?
Not clear, sir.
Not clear. Okay. I'll take the Excel sheet. Sorry, slides. Tomorrow at 10 morning at 10 a.m. I'll take your class.
Okay, sir.